Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker, and today we'll be taking a look at the top 16 deck lists for the Disney Lorcana Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas. This event took place on the 21st and 22nd of July, 1,824 players. The Saturday was 9 rounds of Swiss, followed by the Sunday cut to top 64. Swiss was played under the 2-game format, and top 64 obviously under best of 3. A quick shout out to the channel sponsors Cardmarket. If you're looking for Lorcana singles at competitive rates, then check out Cardmarket. But other than that, let's take a look at the top 16 deck lists. So in first place, definitely no huge surprise at this point. We do have some good old-fashioned Ruby Amethyst control. Worth noting there are only 2 RA decks that actually made it into the top 16, and I think over the top 64 it was only about 5 or 6. That number's not completely accurate. I've actually just taken a quick look at inkdex.com to confirm, and there were 8 total Ruby Amethyst that made top 64, and only 2 making it into the actual top 16. But yeah, still going all the way, piloted by Ed. We've got a really neat looking list here, but we do see 2 copies of Sisu Empowered Sibling, 8-cost uninkable 5/4 quest for 3, shift 6, and we are running 4 copies of the Emboldened Warrior. And I got this: when you play this character, banish all opposing characters with 2 strength or less. So obviously we're a stranger to this card in general. We see it in the vast majority of Ruby Sapphire lists, but not commonly played in Ruby Amethyst. This isn't the first time I've seen it. I have seen it before, and it does make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. For a start, it gives you an earlier way to deal with an opposing Bucky field, because like usually it's just be prepared that we're trying to this is assuming they hit Bucky and they get their discard going. The strategy, most people know at this point, is unless you're brawling the Diablo, don't play anything unless it's drawing you a card, like Chernobog's Followers, Magic Broom, Maleficent, Rabbits, things like that, and then just get to that be prepared turn, and then you should stabilize hopefully better than the Emerald Steel player. But that can still be subverted with a well-timed Ursa Deceiver from them, or you might just not even see the be prepared. But yeah, this gives us another line to be able to deal with the vast majority of an opposing Bucky field. Earlier, it's not going to get rid of things like Aladdin or the Jafar Dreadnought, and of course it could be subverted even more by the Hidden Cove. But it is another line that you can go down against the Bucky field. But other than that, the Mirror, there's a lot of good targets if they try and put out Flynn's, Brooms, Chernobogs, Maleficents later on in the game. Even Rabbits, which yeah is drawing the Macabre, but then I suppose at least it's going to the deck and not necessarily back into their hand. Sometimes it's just going to be worth it just to clear the field. So yeah, you could really cause some disruption here, and of course it is a 5/4 stat line, which is pretty good. It falls to Along Came Zeus, but it's out of Medusa range, and questing for 3 makes it the most aggressive quester in the deck. So yeah, not a bad inclusion, and definitely one I think more people will consider now that Ed has piloted that all the way to first place. Other than that, we are running 4 Chernobog as standard, but also the 4 copies of Magic Broom and Luminary Keeper. A lot of Ruby Amethyst players moving away from just a high count of 1-drops in general. A lot of us have just gone down to the 4 Chernobog, and myself included. And as time's gone on, I do think that is probably incorrect. I know there are a few people that have maybe moved to just like 1 Broom as a 5th 1-drop. Some people are all the way committed. I know Spessy, and I've seen another couple of lists like this that are running the full 4 count of Brooms. And the more I think about it, the more I do think it's probably correct. We went down to 1 just because the meta seemed to slow down so much anyway that it didn't always feel necessary to get down a 1-drop on turn 1. But I don't know. I feel like going forward, I'm hoping to be playing a set championship this Sunday, my first actual public one that I'll hopefully be able to make. And I think I'm inclined to go towards a Broom count. But yeah, because it's just another 1-drop that you can put down to be questing and just help you dig through the deck. So yeah, I like it. We've got the standard bounce stuff: 4 Snake, 4 Fox, 4 Goat, 4 Rabbit, 4 Maleficent for the extra draw, who I really like as a consistency card, 4 copies of Maui, of course, 4 Brawl for those Diablos, Flavishams, things like that, 4 Friends, 4 Be Prepared, the 4 Queen's Castle, just 2 copies of Madame Medusa, no Lady Tremaines, and the most mind-blowing, no Bee King Undisputed. I am shocked. I will put my hands up straight up and just say I am shocked. Full credit to Ed, went all the way with this list. Like, you've got to listen to that data and think, okay, well, like, is Bee King Undisputed not as necessary or just as good as we thought it was. I don't know, like, for me, it's always felt like one of the, like, again, since set 4, since it's been out, it's always felt like just one of the strongest cards in Ruby Amethyst. One of the main reasons to play the ink combination. There's a lot of reasons to play this ink combination, but I don't know, man, I just love the B King Undisputed, but Ed going all the way without any B Kings and without any Lady Tremaines, which, like, I would just feel like I would have such a worse Ruby Sapphire matchup or Sapphire Steel matchup. I mean, thankfully we have obviously that Flynn Sisu Castle line, which is so strong against Sapphire Steel and so strong against Ruby Sapphire. Ruby Sapphire can counter it a little bit easier in my experience, so maybe that's just enough and that's how we beat them, and we don't need to worry about having the Tremaine B King in effect. I don't know, I'm not ready to convert myself, but Ruby Amethyst players watching, let me know down below, like, does this at all make you consider not running them for the rest of the format, or at least trying not running them, or are you a firm Tremaine / B King effect believer? But nonetheless, an incredible run from Ed, so congratulations to him. And going straight to our only other Ruby Amethyst list, as I said, in top 16, we have the exact same list here. No differences whatsoever. Again, no B Kings, no Tremaines, the same one, just exactly same list. Nothing more to say really, other than what a statement that this exact list made first and was the only other top 16 Ruby Amethyst list in Top Cut. Yeah, amazing. Going back to second place now, we have the first of 2 Steel Amber songs lists, but even though it's only 2 in top 16, they are both second place and top 4, which is a fantastic statement. Yeah, I'd like to say, I've been saying for a while, I feel like Steel Song is a lot better than a lot of people think, especially in the hands of a really good pilot, has really good Bucky matchup, and can have a good Ruby Amethyst matchup for sure. And yeah, Chris taking it all the way to second place. We'll start with our song package. We got 3 copies of The World's Greatest Criminal Mind, which is fantastic for taking out big old characters with 5 strength or more, which is already things like Hercules, Maui, Maleficent Dragon, Simba. But we are also running a 4/4 Queen line, which is another way that we can get characters into this 5 strength or more range. So a really fantastic card in the meta. Only 3 copies of Let the Storm Rage On. Always seems low to me. I just think this is such a good card that I feel like whenever I'm playing Steel, I would hesitate to play any. I wouldn't hesitate to play less than 4. But only 3 copies in this list were needed. 4 copies of Along Came Zeus. I'm a big fan of this. I think this is a really strong card. Just spot removal for so much of the meta. Great for locations. You'll love to see it. We've got 4 copies of A Whole New World, so we are recycling resources. And again, just the Steel Amber game plan, just play it because you have so many cheap characters, the Queen, the Robin Hoods, the Ursas, the Ariels, we've got Baloo's in here, Lawrence is in here, we've got like really cheap characters. Just flood these out as quick as we can, get our singers online, play Whole New World to get a whole new hand, and just have a big enough field that we can both answer threats or be questing aggressively, and if and when they do have the answer to the field, hopefully we've got enough resources just to re-extend all again. So yeah, Steel Song, really great deck as always. So for Whole New World, going to help with the refresh, free grab your swords, fantastic spread damage and working really well with the Tinkerbell, and great for the nearly assures the Bucky matchup in 9 times out of 10. The Hidden Cove can help to subvert, but yeah, high counter grab your swords I think is fantastic. And of course for Sleepy's Flute, exert. When you sing a song, you can exert to gain 1 lore, which just gives you incredible reach as the game goes on. Going back to our characters, as I mentioned, that 4/4 Queen line, as well as helping us get World's Greatest Criminal Mind online more often than not, is another early way that we can sing these 5-cost songs. In fact, this is the quickest way that we can sing these 5-cost songs because she is only shift 2, which is absolutely incredible. 4/3 stat line, quest for 2. You'll love to see it. We've got a 4/4 Robin Hood line as another one of our singers, and the way that on turn 3 we can be singing 5-cost songs, or Along Came Zeus. And of course Robin Hood with a really nice stat line, hates Medusa but doesn't mind Along Came Zeus, questing for 2, draws a card when he's banished in a challenge, and if you banish something in a challenge you gain 2 lore. So as strong as ever. We've got 4 copies of Ursula Vanessa, 2-cost inkable, 1/4 with Singer 4. Another way that we can sing World's Greatest Criminal Mind, Let the Storm Rage On nice and easily, but also Along Came Zeus. We should always have an active target to be able to sing Along Came Zeus to remove threats, but not have to use our ink pool to necessarily do that. We've got 4 copies of Ariel Spectacular Singer with that Singer 5, meaning she can sing every song in our deck, and hopefully she's going to find them as well. Looking at the top 4 cards of the deck, pick a song, and it goes into your hand. We are running 17 songs, which would be really good odds to hit more often than not. We're also running 4 copies of Baloo, 3 cost uninkable, 0/3, quest for 1, bodyguard, and let's make like a tree and get out of here. When this character is banished, gain 2 lore. So this bodyguard in itself, really nice if we want to sing a whole new world with the queen, but we want to protect the queen, so we can throw down Baloo to hopefully protect the queen. So that's really nice in protecting our Ariel Spectacular Singer. So yeah, the bodyguard is absolutely notable. But yeah, the ability, when you put this down on the board, it's instantly representing 2 lore, as long as it can be removed from the field. So whether that's because they're challenging into you because they're trying to attack your board, or potentially you could even challenge into them, and if they got 3 strength or more, then they're taking you out and you're gaining 2 lore. I do believe in, I don't know if it was the finals or the top 4. I think it was the top 4. It may have been the final. Nonetheless, I was watching the stream, and I do believe I saw this person Zeus their own Baloo to close the game for the final 2 lore they needed. So that's another way you can utilize it as well. We've got 4 copies of Lawrence, 3 cost inkable, 0/4, quest for 2. While this character has no damage, he gets +4 strength. So this is really nice to help subvert the opposing Flynn Riders, giving you an early character that we can put down that's going to have a high strength threshold. And just again, against anything, if 4 is a nice number, it helps to take out opposing castles alongside Tinkerbell or Robin Hood and the Queen shenanigans. And again, questing for 2, it's just our game plan. We're very much just a flood the field aggro deck. So yeah, Lawrence a great addition. 4 copies of Rapunzel to help us draw extra cards. Sometimes we don't want to go down the road of a whole new world, especially if they've emptied their hand. If we can draw and not replenish our opponent, even better. We talked about the Queen and the Robin Hood, and of course 3 Tinkerbell. 1 spread damage on everything when she hits the board, so great for Bucky's. And when she banishes and challenges and banishes a character, but 2 ping on another character, so great board control. 4/5 quest for 2. So FluteSong coming out in full force with a fantastic showing, which I absolutely love to see. So congratulations to Chris. And yes, in top 4, our other FluteSong deck, but a very different looking build. We'll start with our song package. We are running just 1 copy of the World's Greatest Criminal Mind. No Queen Shift line in this deck, so no additional ways to get this online. But as I said, there are already some good targets for it. Tamatoa, Maui, things like that. We got the 4 Storm, we got the 4 Strength for a Raging Fire to do nice big damage if we've got a wide board. 2 copies of Along Came Zeus for the spot removal. 4 Whole New World, so we are a flood the field and replenish our resources sort of deck. 1 copy of Grab Your Swords. But yes, a very, very different character package. We're running 4 copies of Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, who I didn't mention but wasn't in the previous list, which is a bit of a surprise because I do think she's really, really strong, but the list looked really good. But yeah, this person utilizing her, obviously a way that we can sing our 3 or less cost songs even quicker. Also running the big spice along with Badita. She kind of spicy. But yeah, the big spice here really, 1 cost inkable Golden Harp. 1/4 stat line, quest for 2, and stolen away at the end of your turn. If you didn't play a song this turn, banish this character. So obviously, the turn you put down the Golden Harp, you're never getting quest value off from her straight away, but you need to play that song still during that turn to have her survive a turn so that you can get at least that 1 initial quest. But again, a deck like this that is going to be looking to play these songs as consistently as possible. Again, the 1 World's Greatest Criminal Mind, the 4 Storm, the 4 Rage, the 2 Zeus, so also the 3 copies of Bare Necessities to snipe those non-character songs like non-character cards. Be prepared, a great target for something like this, or even just locations or whatever it is you want that's not a character. So hopefully we're playing songs on the very consistently. We're running 3 copies of Ursula Vanessa, who's got that Singer 4, who's going to help with that. 4 copies of Ariel. We are running that 4/4 Robin Hood line. We've got 3 copies of Piglet Pooh Pirate Captain, who I'm a big fan of. 2/2 quest for 1, and while you have 2 or more other characters in play, this character gets +2 lore. I did read something that Zach Bivens mentioned about Piglet, which I absolutely 100% agree with, which is, this is a card that is only really good on the play. Not only ever really good, like there are times later on in the game where you could have this mid to late and extend, and if they don't have the answer, then great. But on your curve, This is only really great if you're on the play, and I think Zach Bivens said, I'm paraphrasing slightly, but he said something on the lines of, I'm not interested in cards that only benefit me when I'm on the play, when I already have an advantage on the play, which I think was again, I'm not getting that wording completely correct, but hopefully I've articulated the point, which I do agree with. But I'm a fan of Pooh Pirate Captain. We are running 4 copies of Mr. Smee for those incredible stats. 3/3 quest for 2, takes a ping damage at the end of the turn if there's no captain. There are no captains in this deck, don't matter. This card is incredible, only a 2 cost as well. 4 copies of Lawrence in here as well. We've got the Rapunzels, the Robin Hoods. We're also running 2 copies of Stout-Hearted Cinderella, which can be a Floodborn on top of our 1-drop Ballroom Sensation. She's a 5/5 quest for 3, resist 2, and when you sing a song, you can challenge ready characters. This is a fantastic card. Again, challenging ready characters can be really, really strong. The resist 2 makes her really difficult to remove outside of just spot removal like Maleficent and Hades and stuff like that, or a well-timed Tremaine or Bee King Undisputed. But we have a lot of low-cost characters. We should hopefully be able to defend against that a lot. But yeah, Cinderella, if they don't have spot removal for it, can put in so much work. So yeah, a very different looking Steel Song list, not running those Sleepy's flutes. Yeah, absolutely love it. So congratulations to them. All right, going to top 4 now. We have Kevin with the first of our Emerald Steel Bucky lists. For North America, I believe this was Bucky's final swan song. I'm pretty sure he's still going to be legal in Italy, in Bologna. Oh yeah, I'm allowed to say I'm casting Italy. I've just remembered I'm allowed to say now. Well, it's already been announced, but this is my first video that I'm recording since I found out. Yeah, I'm doing Italy. I'm so excited to go to Italy. Going to Lille was great. Going to Germany was fantastic. But yeah, Italy's somewhere that's been on my radar for a long time, places in the world that I would love to visit. If France and Germany are anything to go by, I won't have tons of time to see much, because obviously I'm there to work. But like when I was in Lille, I got to, in the evening, we got to like go down to like a bar and see a little bit. It was lovely to look at, and again in Germany the same, but not lots of chances. But yeah, I'm really hoping to find some time to look around Bologna at least a little bit. But at the very least, I need to do the most cliche thing in the world and eat some pizza and pasta. I know that's cliche as heck, but I need to do it. I'm excited to go. Anyway, sorry, went on a complete tangent there. My point being, there was one more DLC where Bucky is legal, but I'm pretty sure this was the final one for North America. But nonetheless, we are of course running Bucky, 2-cost Inkable 1/1 ward quest for 1. When you play a Floodborn, your opponent discards. So of course we are running Aladdin, the Brave Rescuer, who's a 3-cost Floodborn that we can drop so really early, and of course 3/3 is a pretty nice stat line for challenging the board, and whenever he quests we can banish an item, so really good against the steel decks, the Sapphire Steel decks or the Ruby Sapphire decks. We've got 4 goes of Donald Duck, Perfect Gentleman, who quests for 2, so nice and aggressive, and at the start of your turn each player can draw a card, so replenishing your own resources. Outside of, if we don't get a big Diablo draw off, then we don't have a lot of draws, so Donald helps with that. And yes, their opponent's drawing as well, but if things are going well, then we've discarded their hand and they're going to draw a card, and then we're going to make them immediately discard it anyway. 3 copies of Jafar Dreadnought, great stats, and draws a card when banishing characters in a challenge. 4 Beast, obviously it's a Floodborn, and the draw power is superb. 4 Robin Hood, only 1 copy of the 1-drop Robin Hood. I need to double check that that's correct, but we'll carry on for the minute. 4 copies of Tinkerbell, and then we're running that 4/4 Diablo package, the 1-drop letting you look at the opponent's hand, and the 4-drop when he's exerted during your opponent's turn, whenever they draw, you draw as well, which in itself is a fantastic ability. But just that line of 1-drop Diablo, 2-drop Bucky, and then on turn 2 shift the Diablo by discarding an action is just so strong. We've got 2 copies of Ursa Deceiver of All, so we're not all in on it. 4 copies of Storm, 4 copies of Strength of Raging Fire, no copies of Sudden Chill, 2 copies of We Don't Talk About Bruno for discard / spot removal, and 4 copies of Hidden Cove to really interrupt opponents' maths. For Teeth and Ambitions, Baboon, Grab Your Swords, Tinkerbell, all sorts, and just help the Diablos, the Buckies, the Ursa Deceivers, just help the Brawls, just help these guys survive all the more. So yeah, looks really nice. I've just double checked inkdex.com, and they've got it down as just 1 Robin Hood. This may be correct, it may not be, not sure. The thing I'm most surprised about is no Sudden Chill. I think Sudden Chill is pretty good, but we're only running 2 Ursa Deceiver of All. But again, just this package of Ursa Deceiver of All, even if you're not all in on Sudden Chill, but hey, Kevin took it all the way to top 4, so that's a statement. I really like the 4 Baboon, and of course it's 4 Ursa Deceiver to snipe those songs. But yeah, good old Bucky, congratulations to them. In top 8, we've got Eric, who's running 2 copies of that Flynn Rider, his own biggest fan, which was absent from our top 4 list. I'm a big fan of this. We're like really, really good in the mirror. Good in everything, really. If the point is make them discard, so this is just incredible reach. Also running 2 copies of Cricky, who's a 5-cost Inkable 3/4 quest for 3. And when you play him, your other characters get +3 strength, which is really nice to turn these things like Diablos, Ursa Deceivers, Aladdin's, just make them big old beat sticks. And questing for 3, I think, is really important because this deck lacks reach. We are running 4 copies of Ursa Deceiver of all, 4 Storm, 4 Rage, and we are seeing those 3 Sudden Chill, 4/4 Robin Hood line, 4 we don't talk about Bruno, and just 2 copies of Hidden Cove. No Grab Your Swords in here, but yep, looks good. Congratulations to Eric. Also in top 8, we've got Scott. A very similar list. 3 Ursa Deceiver of all, 2 Chill, 2 Storm, 4 Rage, 2 Tinkerbell. But we're also running a 4/4 Pegasus line. The 1-drop having Evasive, and the 5-drop being a Shift 3 with a 3/3 stat line, quest for 2, Evasive. And when you play the Pegasus, all your characters gain Evasive. So the advantage of running this is, first of all, it's another line to get our Grab Your Swords on early, which we're running 2 copies of, along with 2 copies of Along Came Zeus, which can be really nice. It also serves as a nice answer to opposing Diablos in the mirror, being able to shift onto this, and even if the opposing Diablo is at the Cove, it deals with it. It also just lets you be more aggro in and of yourself. If you have a board of like Robin Hood, Deceiver of all, Aladdin, Donald Duck, then putting down the Pegasus, you give them blanket evasive, so you can quest freely, and more often than not, your opponent won't be able to interrupt it. So yeah, I do like the Pegasus line in here, but yeah, other than that, looks good. Congratulations to Scott. In top 16, we have Eric, who actually reached out to me not long after the tournament, let me know that they were a viewer, so shout out to you, Eric. Thank you for your support, and a huge congratulations on the top 16. And yeah, we're seeing a little bit of spice here. Running 3/4 Robin Hood, we're running the 4/4 Diablo, 4 Ursa Deceiver of all with 4 Storm and 3 Rage, no Sudden Chill, 3 Dreadnought, 3 Aladdin, 4 Beast, 4 Tink, 2 copies of Baboon, 2 Cove, 2 Bruno, 2 Swords. Most of this pretty standard, I'd argue, other than the lack of Sudden Chill. But we have made room for 2 copies of Lucifer, Cunning Cat, 5-cost Uninkable, 2/2 quest for 2, and Mouse Catcher. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and discards either 2 cards or 1 action. Now this is just the surprise factor of this is huge, because when you're playing against Bucky, you assume that Bucky is the way they are going to make you discard. Other than Sudden Chill, that will definitely be on your radar, especially if there's no Deceiver of all on the board. So that's something they've always got to be open to. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to be expecting this Lucifer when they realize you're running Emerald Steel Bucky, because not a lot of lists are playing it, and that in and of itself is just so strong, because they might put themselves down to low hand sizes in situations where they don't think they can make you double discard. Like if you don't have Ursa Deceiver of all and you don't have a Bucky, there will be board states where they think that they can empty their hand more than they should, and this can really disrupt. But it's also really further aided by the 3 copies of Put them together and what do you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Just discard your whole hand, please. 3-cost Uninkable Song. Return chosen character of yours to your hand and play another character with the same cost or less for free. So just with Bucky on its own, this is so incredibly strong. If we've gone turn 2 Bucky, say we did the Diablo line, we went turn 1 Bucky, turn 1 Diablo, turn 2 Bucky, turn 2 Diablo. Then on turn 3, we can put down Aladdin, make them discard, and then we can sing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo with Diablo, return the Aladdin, put it back down again, and make them discard again, and that is just going to be so annoying. But playing it with Lucifer can just be absolutely soul destroying, especially if they don't have actions to make it only a 1-card discard. Like having a 5-cost already on board, like Robin Hood or Beast or Tink, and then playing the Lucifer and then singing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo to double play it, man, I bet this person had some really salty opponents during this day. So yeah, I think if you're running this engine, that absolutely makes up for the lack of Sudden Chill. Of course, Ursula can double sing Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo as well, so that's another, there are other lines to do this more cheekily, like from turn 4 onwards. So yeah, it looks really, really good. Congratulations to Eric. Our next Emerald Steel Bucky with some more spice. Everything looking pretty traditional. 3 copies of Aladdin. We're running 2 Donald Duck. 2 copies of Flynn Rider, own biggest fan. Only 1 copy of Dreadnought is low, but we've had to make room for a couple of techs. 2 copies of Baboon. We're running 1 Rise of the Titans for those items and those locations. We are running 3 Sudden Chill, 4 Storm, 4 Raging Fire, so pretty much a full Ursa package. 2 Along Came Zeus. No Hidden Cove. No Grab Your Swords. 2 Along Came. We don't talk about Bruno. But yeah, we are running 3 copies of Sudden Chill, missed it. But we're running 1 copy of Under the Sea. The seaweed is always greener. 8 cost uninkable song. Sing together 8. So multiple characters who make a total of 8 can exert to sing this. Put all opposing characters of 2 strength or less on the bottom of their player's deck in any order. So we think about this in the same vein as we were talking about Floodborn Sisu earlier. A bunch of decks fit, like a bunch of characters fit this. I mean, if you just look at this deck on its own, or just all of the Emerald Steel decks we've just looked at, like 9 times out of 10, this top line is nearly all things that can be removed with this Under the Sea. So yeah, and again, the surprise factor of this, because not many Emerald Steel decks are running this, so that would have been a factor as well. So very cool. And we're also running 2 copies of Beast Wolfsbane, 5 cost uninkable 4/4, quest for 2, rush and roar. When you play this character, exert all opposing damaged characters. So no grab swords for spread damage, no Tinkerbell, but there's ways, like plenty of ways of doing chip, storm, rage, baboom, or just challenging, or just them challenging into us just to clear our boards. Like if we're questing with our Ursa Deceivers and our Aladdins, and they're dealing with them, then they're just putting this chip damage on themselves. So Beast Wolfsbane could come down and have a really impactful turn. Really good for helping with locations as well. We are running a Rise of the Titans, but yeah, this 4 damage is really nice alongside Robin Hood, Beast, Jafar, or Aladdin, all give us the math we need for Queen's Castle. So yeah, super spicy. Yeah, love to see it. Congratulations to them. And our final Emerald Steel Bucky list, a very cookie cutter one. Only 2 copies of Jafar Dreadnought is probably the only slightly not average count. That's normally a 3 or 4. Only 2 here. We've got 2 Hidden Cove, no Grab Your Swords, 2 Bruno, 2 Zeus. We've got 3 Chill, 4 Storm, 4 Rage, and 3 Ursa Deceiver of all. So nearly a full package. 3 of those his own biggest fan. Everything else looks pretty standard Bucky the Nuts. So congratulations to Hector. Alright, going back to top 8, the first of 3 Sapphire Steel decks that performed really, really well and in DLC Texas. So the bread and butter here, really, the most important card in the deck, at least in my opinion, this 7 cost uninkable Lucky Dime. Exert, pay 2, choose a character of yours and gain lore equal to their lore. So we can, if we've got this dime down, then we can put a character down, and then hopefully we've got enough ink. We are a ramp deck, we're running a bunch of ramp, so hopefully we've got a nice high ink count. We can exert this dime immediately, gain the lore for that character, and we've got characters that can have such big lore, such as Belle, strange but special, 2 copies here who can be questing for 5, and of course 4 copies of Tamatoa who gets additional lore based on the amount of items we've got on the board. We're running a nice big item package, so we're hoping for Tamatoa to have 3, 4, 5, 6 lore, so that we can put him down, immediately exert the dime to gain 5 or 6, and then if they don't interrupt the Tamatoa then or the Lucky Dime, which not a lot of decks can answer the Lucky Dime, really it's only Steel. Well, Steel and Sapphire can do it, so can Emerald, but they very rarely run the item removal. But some decks just can't remove it, so yeah, if they can't interrupt their board, then the next turn you're tapping the dime and you're exerting the dime, and you're also questing a Tamatoa for huge amounts. And I say 4, 5, 6, I've seen this Tamatoa get to 8, 9, 10 and just win games out of nowhere alongside this dime, so you'll love to see it. 3 copies of Fishbone Quill to help us ramp nicely, and we are running 4 copies of Whole New World, so again, not all Sapphire Steel decks. It's not always an assured thing to see these 4 Whole New World and these 4 Fishbone Quill. Some cutting the Whole New World because they don't want to be replenishing their opponent's resources, and they say, no, it is sufficient for me to have the Porpsicles, the Fortispheres, and of course we are running probably the best draw engine in the game in 4 copies of Flavisham, who draws 2 on play and on quest by removing one of your items. So yeah, some decks deciding not to run this Whole New World, but this deck is utilising it, so hopefully play out our hand, ramp nice and high, and then replenish our resources, so you'll have to see that. 3 copies of Grab Your Swords to hurt the opponent to do spread damage, 4 Porpsicle and 4 Forger Spear to be our draw engine, and of course our item engine with Tamatoa and Flavisham, and of course these secondary abilities aren't always insignificant. The Porpsicle removing 2 damage and the Forger Spear giving bodyguard can absolutely come up. Running 3 Let It Go for spot removal for things like Cinderella Stout-Hearted or opposing Tamatoas that the deck can really deal with. 1 Along Came Zeus, that could be spot removal for quite a lot and help with locations. 2 copies of Rise of the Titans to help with locations, which is this deck's biggest weakness really, and can help with opposing items. And 2 Babooms for things like Flynn Rider, which is a really scary curve against Ruby Amethyst for the Sapphire Steel player. So Baboom can help with that, and also hopefully going to help with the Diablo. But yeah, to get back to the point I was making earlier, you don't always see this 4 Whole New World wild. And sometimes you don't even see these 4 Fishbone Quill. A lot of players utilising the Great Stone Dragon, who I do think comes up in one of the other lists, so we won't talk too much about that now. But to move back to our character count, we're seeing 3 copies of Argus, who's coming up in more and more of these Sapphire Steel decks. 2 cost Inkable, 4/1, quest for 1. This here, mostly to be a way to answer the dreaded Flynn Sisu castle line that Ruby Amethyst players always will want to take against Sapphire Steel. With that 4 strength, that's nice and high, so hopefully that's protecting you against their Madam Mim Fox or their Snake, whatever it is that they're able to get down to hopefully get benefit from the Flynn Rider Frenemy. So this Argus is going to help with that, and just this 4 strength is nice to help with opposing locations alongside a Mr. Smee, a Beast, a Tinkerbell, whatever it is. So yeah, an Argus, a really nice addition to the deck. We've got 4 Smee for the stats. We're seeing 3 copies of Mickey Mouse for the ramp. Note that we're not seeing any copies of 1 jump ahead. I think more Sapphire Steel decks moving towards the Mickeys and Sapphire and Ruby Sapphire more often than not choosing to run the 1 jump ahead. Of course, there are exceptions, but that's what I'm seeing more often than not. Only 3 seems low to me, but you are running 4 Fishbone Quill, so I think it would be low if we were maybe on a lower count of Fishbone Quill and we were invested in Great Stone Dragon. But no, I'm a fool of a took. 4 Fishbone Quill, 3 Mickey is perfectly fine. 2 Bell, 4 Flavisham for the draw, 4 Cogsworth. The ward makes him hard to remove. Resist 1 to all of our other characters is really nice to upset the opponent's math. Quest for 2 and is a singer. 2 copies of Beast for the additional draw. And running 2 copies of Gaston, Intellectual Powerhouse, who was really fallen off in the Sapphire Steel decks, was pretty much staple in set 3 formats. But yeah, you don't see him very often these days, and I think that's a mistake. I'm a big fan of the Gaston. 6 cost on Inkable, 4/4, quest for 3, and when you play him, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand and the others at the bottom in any order. So of course, being able to find key pieces is so great for finding your dimes, your bells, your let it go when you need removal, whatever it be. But yeah, just the 3 lore on him makes him just an aggressive quester and a great combo with Lucky Dime. So I do like the Gaston. Notice that we're not seeing the Ariel Treasure Collector, who I think is falling out of fashion from more Sapphire Steel players than not. But yeah, top 8 for Stephen. Huge congratulations to them. Going into top 16, we've got Troll House, a very similar looking list. We're seeing 3 copies of Rise of the Titans, so a big count of that, only 2 Let It Go, but we're seeing 3 copies of Fire the Cannons instead of that Baboom as a 1 cost uninkable, deal 2 damage to chosen character. So give you, obviously you've got a more of a higher uninkable count, but just being able to remove those 2 willpower, like those Diablos and those Flins just for 1 can be pretty good at times. We are running the whole new world, so we are utilising that engine, those 3 Argus, 4 Mickey, 4 Smee. This character count looks exactly the same, except it's 1 more Beast in here. 1 less Tamatoa is surprising. I do feel like Tamatoa is probably one of the more important pieces of your deck more often than not, but Troll House made top 16 with just 3, so what do I know? So congratulations to them. No, I told a lie. There are no Great Stone Dragon variants in the top 16. Interesting. But we are seeing the Ariel here. But yeah, top 16, we've got Zach. A lot of similarities. 2 Fire the Cannons and 1 Baboom is certainly interesting. We've got 2 copies of Rise of the Titans, 1 Let It Go, 3 Grab Swords, the traditional item package. And then for characters, most of them looking pretty standard. But we are running those 3 copies of Ariel Treasure Collector. 6 cost uninkable, 3/4, sorry. Quest for 3, Ward, making it quite difficult to remove outside of B-Prep, B-King, and Tremaine. And the girl who has everything. I haven't been singing enough. Let me know in comments if I need to be singing more. While you have more items in play than each opponent, this character gets +2 lore. So hoping to have more items than the opponent, so this Ariel's questing for 5. And of course, that makes her a fantastic combo piece with Lucky Dime. We're seeing 2 copies of Hades for that spot removal, similar to Let It Go. Great removal for big bodies like Tamatoas and Cinderella Stout-Hearted, things like that. And of course, 3 6s. Not a bad stat line. Falls to Madame Medusa, which is a shame. But outside of that, it's pretty respectable and questing for 2. And we're seeing 3 copies of Simba Fighting Prince, 7 cost inkable, 5/7, quest for 2, and on play and on banishing another character in a challenge, you choose 1 ability, either draw 2 and discard 2, you love to see it, let's find those key pieces that we need, the dimes, the aerials, whatever it might be, or we can do 2 damage to chosen characters, so same as the Tinkerbell's secondary effect of Puny Pirate, but yeah, just that 2 damage on play can be really nice as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this Simba, deck looks really, really nice. I feel like Ariel at 3 maybe seems high, but worked well for Zach, so congratulations to them. Alright, going back to top 8, the absolute spice of the top cut. Don't care. This is the spice right here. We've got some Emerald Amber songs, and a shout out to Zach Bivens, who made top 64 with a deck nearly identical to this. I will point out the differences between the two to you in a moment. But yeah, this is third top cut in a row for Zach Bivens, and the third time that they've not been able to get all the way. My heart breaks for him, but still fantastic results to make 3 top cuts. And yeah, I certainly wasn't expecting it. He sent me the list just before the event started, and I was like, bruh. But yeah, absolutely love to see it. We've got a really unique package here. So let's start off with the songs. We've got 3 copies of Painting the Roses Red, 2 cost inkable song, up to 2 characters to get -1 strength, and you can draw a card. So that's a nice combo piece for a song that we'll talk about in a moment. Running 4 Bare Necessities to snipe those non-character songs, 4 Sudden Chill for the discard, 3 copies of Mother Knows Best to just have some great board control, but that also has other synergy with characters in our deck. 4 copies of We Don't Talk About Bruno, which can be spot removal plus discard, and we are running those 3 Under the Sea to banish all opposing characters with 2 strength or less. So we already said this has got a lot of nice targets for it, but this Painting the Roses Red, putting 2 characters of -1 strength each, can get even more into this range of Under the Sea, so that's pretty cool. We're also running 4 copies of the legendary Keeda, Protector of Atlantis, 5 cost inkable, 3/5, quest for 2. Shift 3 is irrelevant in this deck, and we're not running a shift target. Bivens did, but then the ability, perhaps we can save our future. When you play this character, all characters get -1 strength until the start of your next turn. So when this first came along, this was just seen as a way for aggro decks to be able to have like questing turns where then the opponent isn't going to be, it's hopefully then not going to be able to just challenge us and remove our board, which is still absolutely relevant and something that you can utilize. But getting more characters, like more characters than not, will fall now into this 2 strength or less, and Under the Sea is just going to wipe them away. So that's pretty incredible. Going back to the beginning of our character lineup, we are running that 4/4 Diablo line. No Bucky in sight here, but just Diablo, just in and of itself, just a really strong card that if the opponent doesn't have an answer for him, then he's just going to generate so much card draw and will. We're running 4 copies of Sir Hiss, 2 cost inkable, 3/1, quest for 1, and evasive. And from the games I was watching in the stream, both Bivens and I think I watched at least 1 game that this top 8 player had on stream. I'm nearly certain. But yeah, this Sir Hiss seems super important, not only obviously for the Diablo, which is its main reason for being here, but it can check opposing aggro boards, and it can just sing Bare Necessities and Sudden Chill on turn 3, which seemed relevant quite a lot. So yeah, love the Sir Hiss. We've got 4 copies of Ursa to snipe those songs, and we're of course running 4 copies of Ariel Spectacular Singer to sing everything in the deck, and she contributes 5 towards the 8 we need for Under the Sea. And of course finding those songs, and I mentioned synergy with Mother Knows Best, we can bounce our own Ariel back to just replay her and help us find even more songs, which can be really cool. And songs synergize even further with the 4 copies of the Muses, Proclaimers of Heroes, 4 cost inkable, 2/4, quest for 1, ward, and the Gospel Truth. Whenever you play a song, you may return chosen character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. So again, we've already said a bunch of times, there's quite a few characters that already fit this, but with Keeda and Painting the Roses Red, we can put even more characters into this range. So whenever we're singing any other song, Bruno, Mother Knows Best, Chill, Bear, Painting, then Muses can hopefully it can bounce characters back to the hand. And it does work in the sense of if your opponent has an empty hand but 1 character on board, you can Mother Knows Best. No, not the Mother Knows Best, I'm getting confused. The Sudden Chill. You can, if they've got nothing in their hand, you can sing Sudden Chill with the Muses, bounce something back to their hand as long as it's got the 2 strength or less, and then they have to discard it with Sudden Chill, which is super cute. We're also running 3 copies of Cricky, who quests for 3, and obviously giving +3 to our characters, which can make these small guys hit all the harder. And 4 copies of You Have Forgotten Me. Each opponent chooses and discards 2 cards. This on its own ends games, especially if you've already been able to play a Sudden Chill or 2. This just absolutely destroys worlds, and yeah, this deck looks so annoying, so strong. Yeah, Bivens played a really similar list. Their list was -3 Mother Knows Best, and they chose to play 2 copies of the 1-drop 2/2 Keeda. and 1 copy of Lucifer Cunning Cat, who I really like. And again, having the 1-drop Keeda opens up other lines and ways to sing under the sea even quicker, and just obviously being able to shift and get this Keeda down can give you nice questing turns and sing things like Bruno. So yeah, Emerald Amber doing really, really well for Top Cut, so congratulations to them. And now our final ink combination, the first of 2 Ruby Sapphire decks. We have Sailor, no stranger at this point to Lorcana success. We've discussed them quite a lot, and they were the originator of the Ruby Sapphire list that was utilizing Ice Blocks and the Sisu Daring Visitor, but they have opted to move away from that package altogether. We'll start with the actions and items, which I think is always a good place to start with these decks. Running 4 Develop Your Brain to help us find key pieces. Those 4 Brawl, obviously needed for Diablos, but also good for opposing Flavishams. We are running those 4 One Jump Ahead to help us ramp nice and early. We're running 3 How Far I'll Go to ramp and find key pieces, and can be sung by a lot of our characters, the Grandmaster, but yeah, loads of our characters to be honest. 3 copies of B Prep for the board clear. Of course, running 4 Popsicle, 4 copies of Fishbone Quill to help us ramp. We're also running 1 copy of that Great Stone Dragon. I do get to talk about it. I thought I would see it in Sapphire Steel more regularly, to be honest, but yeah, 1 copy finding its way into this list. Enters play exerted, and then the ability Awaken, exert, put a character from your discard into your Inkwell face down and exerted. So obviously this allows you to funnel your Inkwell without depleting your hand, which is really, really nice, and we're all still utilizing those 2 lucky dimes. And yeah, an additional item, running 1 copy of Vitalis Sphere, 1 cost inkable item. You pay 1, banish this item, and a chosen character gains rush and +2 this turn. So it's another 1 cost item to synergize with Tamatoa and Flavisham. But yeah, just being able to give something rush can be really great to help with locations, or just boards in general. Being able to put down a Sisu, a Tamatoa, a Madame Medusa, a Maleficent, and give it rush and help deal with a threat can be really, really nice. And then onto our characters, running 4 copies of Pegasus, 2 cost inkable, 3/1, and evasive. So similar to the Sir Hiss we were looking at a minute ago, just here for to Diablo more often than not. 4 copies of Grand Martala. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, 1 into your hand, 1 to the bottom of your deck, so help us find key pieces, and she's a great character to sing How Far I'll Go. Flavisham for the draw engine, running a 2/2 Maui and Hercules line. Hercules pretty much a staple in Ruby Sapphire decks at this point, but just players deliberating on what the count should be. We've seen 3 Maui, 1 Hercules, 3 Maui, 2 Hercules, and here are 2/2. So Hercules, I think, pretty safe to say they have secured their place in this list. We're just debating what the right counts are, but we see 2/2 here. 4 copies of Madame Medusa to have great matchups into Emerald Steel and a lot of Sapphire Steel targets. Some Sapphire Steel. Emerald Steel really is good. Like, there's so many things that this can target, and even Ruby Amethyst just popping rabbits and things like that is great. We're running 3 copies of the Floodborn Sisu. No shift target for this, but again, we're ramped, so this should be online before turn 8, so you'll love to see it. 4 Tamatoa and 3 Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. It looks really nice, and Sailor a really, really great player and a great guy, so congratulations to them. And then our final deck list of today, another Ruby Sapphire in top 16. I'm not sure if this is pronounced Din, but they are running an absolutely incredible bit of spice. We're going to start off with it. Dig a little deeper. 8 cost uninkable. Sing together 8. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Put 2 into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now I saw a few tweets that came out from this player, and from what I have seen, they have hyped up this Dig a Little Deeper as one of the MVPs of their run. If you're watching, first of all, congratulations. Yeah, I'd love to see a comment down below. Let me know if that is the case. But from what I saw, this seemed to be putting in a lot of work for him, and I absolutely love to see it. I've said for a while I feel like this is underrated, and I think I'm right. I think this is really good as a way to find your key pieces. When you're running Dime, you are a combo deck where it's finding the Tamatoa or the Dime itself or whatever, or the Be Prepared at the right time. Yeah, I really like to dig a little deeper. 2 copies of Vitalis Sphere. We are running that 3 Fishbone, 1 Great Stone Dragon. So maybe I was off the mark, and it is more of a Ruby Sapphire deck card. It doesn't surprise me to see it in Ruby Sapphire, but I thought we'd see it in at least one of the Sapphire Steel decks, especially since they were all Whole New World variants, which obviously has great synergy. But other than that, looks very similar. We're running 3 Maui, 1 Hercules. We are running 1 copy of Judy Hops to deal with items, and in a pinch we can banish one of our own to draw a card, and she quests for 2, which is nice, and 3 copies of Queen of Hearts to help us with early aggro fields. So yeah, really, really nice list. Love this Dig a Little Deeper. Congratulations to them. Just to finish us off, just 3 other lists that I'll take a very quick look at that made the Day 2 top 64. First of all, Zach Bivens, as I mentioned, huge shout out to him. And yeah, they were playing -3 Mother Knows Best, 2 Kida and 1 Lucifer, which looks really good. And yeah, huge congratulations to Zach on another incredible showing. Also in top 64, we have Trey, who made it, had a fantastic run, obviously, to make Day 2. Words are hard. With some hyper aggro, 2 Befuddle to upset opposing boards. Shonabog's followers to be a nice check and to help us draw cards. We've got 4 Lilo and 4 Maleficent, 4 Pascal, 4 Snake, 4 Fox. We're running 2 Pinocchio as a quest for 3, 4 Piglet as a quest for 3, 2 copies of Arthur to bounce back characters to keep them safe. No rabbit. Am I seeing no rabbits? Bruh. No rabbits. What a statement. 4 copies of Baloo, 4 copies of Donald Duck, who I really like, giving an extra lore to a character and bodyguard. 3 Pongo to help us draw cards. I mean, I suppose Pongo's our draw engine. 4 Goat, 3 Castle. Yeah, I love this list, but bruh, no rabbits. I was just going to say, do we just ink to 3? But we've got Merlin and Queen's Castle. Yeah, I mean, you already want to run a lot of uninkables, like the Mallies, the Lilos, and the Pinocchios, and the Arthurs, and the Baloos. So yeah, I kind of get it, but it's rabbit. But yeah, huge congratulations to them on making top 64 with hyper aggro. And the last one to look at in top 32, a shout out to Nick Davis with some Mufasa, who y'all at home know I'm a big old fan of Mufasa. We're running 4 copies of the new Gaston, who exerts and you pay 2 less for the next character you play. No copies of Doc, but this lets us cheat out a 6 drop on turn 4, such as these 2 Medusa or 2 Tremaine. But running 3 copies of Nessus, 6 cost Inkable, 7/5 quest for 2. Bruh. Yo, the spice. I mean, Zeus removes you. Like, that's the only thing that breaks my heart. That's the only thing that breaks my heart, because this 7 is big. It's big. And questing for 2. But yeah, you just get Zeused. Obviously no come into play ability. That's what I mean. I know obviously Tremaine and Medusa get Zeus too, but they have come to place. I love the spice though. 4 Stitch Abomination to be an aggressive quester. You're out of Zeus and Medusa. 4 Surfer Stitch for the draw. 1 copy of Mickey Mouse, huge aggressive quester. 2 Sisu, 4 Maleficent, 2 copies of Chernabog, and of course we've got the 4 Mulan, 4 Gothel, 4 Rapunzel as our draw engine alongside Stitch. 3 Pongo is also a draw engine, of course the Mufasa himself. Yeah, Nessus, who'd have thought? Yeah, congratulations to them. And that is it for the top 16 deck list for the Disney Lorcana Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas. A huge congratulations to all players, everyone that made top cut, but just anyone that went along to play. I hope you had an incredible time. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting to go to Bologna, to go to Italy, where I'll be casting the next Disney Lorcana Challenge. I want to say again, like, I don't take it for granted. These are opportunities that I've been afforded. I know how lucky I am to get to do to cast for these huge events, and yeah, I'm just very grateful for the opportunities. I don't take it for granted. I'm quite grateful for everyone's support of the channel. That's pretty much it for the Lorcana stuff. But just to go on a little bit further, I apologise for being late with this video. My mum got sick again. Mum got sick when I got home, and then she recovered really quickly, and then I got sick for like a week, and then she got sick again. It got to a point where we had to have a call out doctor like 1 o'clock in the morning last night, which wasn't fun. But they assured us that she seems okay. She's on some new antibiotics, but she's had a rough few days, so I've not been on it with content as much as I would like to be. I'm certainly like, that's why you've not seen any card reviews either. I'm well behind on card reviews for set 5. I'm still going to do them. I'm not going to miss out on going over them and making my predictions on what I think is going to be good and bad. But any old-time viewers of my channel would know I'm normally doing them as they go. But yeah, I've just been very distracted with other things. But yeah, I'm hoping Mum will be recovered within a few days, enough for me to go to a set championship on Sunday. Really keen to go to an actual public one. But yeah, just wanted to say thanks so much to everyone for your support. But other than that, that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana. Hit that like button to show support, and we'll see you soon.